Ruling coalition is meeting at Balotar. Talks delving into topics including National Assembly election and bill related to transitional justice. CPN Maoist Center decides to hold a statute convention from 13th of February. Draft of the new statute in favor of Chairperson Dahal's aspiration to retain leadership, parties or members not happy. Foreign Minister of France promises continued backing for Ukraine and support for defense manufacturing cooperation in Kiev, says he will work on fixing the European Union and bilateral legal issues. And Manchester City secured a thrilling 3-2 win over Newcastle United in the English Premier League. Chelsea edged past Fulham by a solitary goal. The ruling coalition has met at the official residence of the Prime Minister in Balotar. Prime Minister Dahal is understood to have called the meeting to hold discussions regarding the National Assembly election and to strategize wins for the candidates of the ruling coalition. According to Prime Minister's press advisor Govinda Acharya, the meeting also delved into bills related to transitional justice. CPN Maoist Center is to hold its statute convention from 13th to 15th of February next month. The party's standing committee meeting held at the party office in capital's Paris Tada decided to hold the convention in mid of February. The meeting has also decided to forward the draft of the party statute prepared by the committee under the leadership of Vice Chairperson Prarambha to the local level. The party has said that the draft will be finalized by holding a standing committee meeting on 9th of February following discussions in all ranks of the party. Likewise, the meeting has concluded that the 4-month transformation campaign conducted by the party has made the leaders and cadres enthused. The meeting has also formed a party unification coordination committee under the leadership of party chair Dahal. The committee will hold dialogues with the Prarambha-led Nepal Socialist Party and the Netra Bikram Chand-led Communist Party of Nepal for unification. Prior to this, Nepal Socialist Party had formed a coordination committee led by Bhattarai to hold talks regarding merger. CPN Maoist Center Chairperson Dahal has been leading the party for the past 3.5 decades. Whether it be party disintegration or unification, Dahal has been in executive position as General Secretary or the Chairperson. It has become easier for Dahal to retain leadership role as members previously seen as alternatives have been quitting the party one after another. Now, despite several statute amendments, the term of leadership position is not set while there is no specific criteria. In such a situation, questions have surfaced regarding if there are no alternatives to Dahal in Maoist Center and if he has blocked doors for other aspirants. Despite being the third party of the House of Representatives, Maoist Center is leading the government and 69-year-old Dahal is the Prime Minister of the country. It is his third term as the Premier. Bhattarai, who was another Prime Minister from Maoists, had quit the party 8 years ago. Meanwhile, Dahal, who is serving his third term, has remained in leadership role for the past 35 years. In all stages of the party, Dahal has served as its leader. Even the party statute drafting committee handed its report to Dahal without concluding the term of the chairperson. The absence of competitors for leadership position has also created ease for Dahal. Internal competition has shrunk with the exit of Mohan Vaidya, Bhattarai and Ram Bahadur Thapa among others. In addition to that, failure in implementation of succession planning has led to the situation for renewal of leadership instead of transfer of authority. The proposed statute of Maoist Center includes provisions for chairperson, deputy chairperson, general secretary and secretary. However, it states that the number of deputy chairperson and secretary could be added on the basis of requirement. It has also proposed a 151-member central committee by including province chairpersons as the central members. The report furnished by the statute draft committee led by Deputy Chairperson Prarambha is being forwarded to lower-ranking committees for preliminary discussions. As Chairperson Dahal does not disagree with the report, there are possibilities of the report being endorsed from the statute convention without any amendment, which will facilitate Dahal's aspiration of eternal leadership position. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, why have political parties not formulated legislation to facilitate leadership change? Your options are A. High-handedness policy, B. New generation not ready, and C. Lack of pressure. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Tharo communities of West Tarai have expedited preparations for the Magi festival. Local residents of Tharo communities in villages of Dang, Banke, Bordia, Kailali and Kanchanpur are busy preparing for the festivity. Members of the families who were away from their home have also returned to celebrate the festival with their family. Women of Tharo communities in Kailali have begun decorating their home and preparing traditional alcoholic beverages and other delicacies. Tharo community observes the Maghe Sankranti or the 1st of Magh as per the Nepali calendar as the new year. It is also their first festival of the year. They celebrate the festival by dancing and singing as well. Maghi is also observed throughout the month in the Tharo community. 790 ton of yam has been brought to Kalimati of Kathmandu in the past 1 week alone for the Maghe Sankranti festival. According to Kalimati Fruits and Vegetables Market Development Board, a total of 1,211 ton of yam has been imported for Kathmandu in the past 1 month. Based on the data, 1,489 ton of yam has arrived in Kathmandu this year, while 1,693 was imported last year. In relative comparison to other vegetables, sales of yam has increased in Kalimati in the past few days. Around 10 quintal of yam is being sold every day. Yam was available at 50 rupees per kilogram until last week, while the price has now reached 60 rupees per kilogram. Different kinds of yam are found in Nepali markets. The highest volume of yam is brought to Kathmandu from Sarlai, while it is also brought from Sunsari, Dhading, Makwanpur and Chitwan among other districts. In our Public Voice segment, we've asked in several provinces regarding ways to reduce road accidents. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
बाटो काट्न पर्यो अनि स्पिड अलि लिमिटमा हुन पर्छ
बाटो अनुसारको गति कायम गर्नु पर्यो ड्राइभिङ गर्ने मान्छेले पनि अब केयरफुल अनि जेब्रा क्रसिङहरुमा अलिकति हाइवेमा न्यून गतिमा जानु पर्यो धेरै बढी त्यो रेस नगर्नु
मध्यपान गर्नु भएन
बाटोको ग्रेडिङ नमिलेको कारणले गर्दाखेरि धेरै दुर्घटनाहरू भएको देखिन्छ
पाठ्यक्रमहरुमा पनि यसबारे अझ व्यापक पाठ्यवस्तुहरू राखिनु आवश्यक छ
सवारी साधन जब सरकारले थप्छ नि त्यसै अनुसारको रोडहरुको पनि अलिकति केही विस्तारमा ध्यान दिनुपर्ने हुन्छ
लामो सफरमा एउटै ड्राइभरले चलाउँदाखेरि पनि धेरै गाह्रो हुन्छ दुई जना हुनु पर्यो
राम्रो कन्डिसनका गाडी मात्रै चलाउनु पर्यो
ड्राइभरहरूले पनि राम्रोसँग लिने अब बाटोघाटो राम्ररी चाक्लो भएपछि सजिलो हुन्छ जाँदाखेरि पनि
ट्राफिक नियमलाई पूर्ण रूपले पालना गराउनलाई राज्य लाग्नु पर्यो
ड्राइभिङ लाइसेन्स वितरण गर्ने प्रक्रियामै यसलाई सुधार गर्नुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ
यात्रु आफै नै सजग हुनु पर्यो
चालकले मादक पदार्थ सेवन गर्नु भएन
क्षमता भन्दा धेरै यात्रुहरू राख्नु हुँदैन
ट्राफिक नियम पालना गर्न जनचेतना जागृत गर्नुपर्छ
भौतिक पूर्वाधारका चाहिँ वस्तुहरूलाई चाहिँ अलिकति प्राथमिकता दिएर इन्टरनेशनल स्ट्यान्डर्डको नसके पनि जुन हाम्रो ग्लोबल साउथको स्ट्यान्डर्ड छ त्यो अनुसारले चाहिँ लानुपर्छ
It is now time for the international news. French Foreign Minister Stéphane Séjourne promised continued backing for Ukraine and support for defense manufacturing cooperation in Kiev, his first official visit in his new role. Kiev is seeking to maintain flows of military and financial aid from its Western allies after nearly 2 years of fighting off a full-scale Russian invasion. Séjourne arrived in the capital hours after Russia launched 40 missiles and drones at Ukraine, something for which his Ukrainian counterpart Dmitry Kuleba expressed gratitude. The French minister added that he would work in the coming days and weeks to fix European Union and bilateral legal issues to help French companies set up more military production facilities in Ukraine without saying what these legal issues were. Kuleba said that several Ukrainian and French defense companies had already concluded deals on cooperation. Séjourne also encouraged French companies to invest in Ukraine, mentioning the transport, energy, telecoms and water sectors. He said he was personally convinced additional efforts were needed in terms of military assistance and that talks between the two governments would proceed in the coming weeks. After Kiev, his first visit abroad a day after his appointment, Séjourne will then head to Berlin and Warsaw, saying he attached particular importance to the so-called Weimar Triangle, an informal forum of discussion between France, Germany and Poland. Now, thousands of protesters gathered in downtown Washington as they headed to the White House demanding an immediate ceasefire. In one of the largest pro-Palestinian demonstrations to date in the U.S. Capitol, the protesters repeated their call for U.S. President Joe Biden to stop sending arms to Israel and chanted, "Free Palestine and ceasefire now." The latest escalation in the Gaza conflict followed an attack on Israel on October 7 by the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas, which Israel said killed 1,200 people. Israel's subsequent assault on Hamas-governed Gaza has killed more than 23,000 Palestinians, about 1% of the 2.3 million population there, according to Gaza's health ministry. A Hamas official thanked Qatar for sending medicine to the Gaza Strip in light of the many risks that threaten the lives of Palestinians. Osama Hamdan, a Lebanon-based Hamas leader, told a news conference in Beirut that some of the medicine that will arrive will be used to treat a number of the Israeli prisoners. Israel initially offered to send medical aid to Gaza for hostages held in the Strip by Hamas, the Palestinian group that rules the enclave, but Hamdan said this would have presented two problems. Israel struck an arrangement with Qatar on Friday, allowing the delivery of medicines to its hostages. Hamdan, during the news conference, maintained that the priority was the citizens of Gaza. 11 prison staff who had been held by inmates at the Esmeraldas prison in Ecuador were freed yesterday. They were among 158 guards and 20 administrative staffers taken hostage since Monday in at least 7 prisons amid a sharp increase in violence in the South American country. Officials said that 8 other prison staff had been freed before Saturday. Meanwhile, a joint police and army operation took to the streets of Ecuador's largest city, Guayaquil, yesterday in search of members of organized crime groups. Police and army members searched vehicles and locals as part of the heavy security presence. This Saturday marks the 5th day of strategic operations as part of the country's state of emergency. According to the most recent report provided by the Communications Secretariat of the Ecuadorian Presidency, military and police units have carried out 10,478 operations in the country's 24 provinces, resulting in the arrest of 1,105 people, 125 of them for terrorism. Rescue workers in Colombia are scrambling to free survivors after a mudslide brought on by heavy rains in northwest Colombia killed at least 34 people and injured dozens on a busy highway. The mudslide, which happened Friday afternoon, covered a roadway that connects the cities of Quibdó and Medellín in the Pacific province of Choco, authorities said in a statement. Rescuers and canines from across Colombia were dispatched to the scene to search for injured people, the statement has added. Local media showed relatives of victims mourning their loved ones at the site of the disaster as rescue efforts continued. In a message on the social network X, Colombian Vice President Francia Marquez lamented the incident and reported the dead were mostly girls and boys, citing the preliminary reports. The U.S. climate envoy John Kerry will leave the administration later this winter and plans to help President Joe Biden's election campaign. A spokesperson for Kerry, a U.S. former Secretary of State, said he informed his staff earlier yesterday after speaking with Biden earlier this week. Axios first reported yesterday that 80-year-old Kerry will leave the administration later this winter and plans to help Biden's campaign. Kerry was instrumental in helping to broker the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement and the UAE consensus that calls for the transition away from fossil fuels, which was reached in December at COP28 in Dubai. Hot air balloons of all shapes and colors filled the skies of Santiago yesterday as Chile hosted the International Hot Air Balloon Festival for the first time. Young and old onlookers gathered to watch dozens of hot air balloons participating in the event. The festival started in 2002 in Mexico, but this is the first time it has been hosted in South America. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. Ruling coalitions meet at Balotai. Talks delving into topics including National Assembly election and bill related to transitional justice. CPN Now Center decides to hold statute convention from 13th of February. Draft of the new statute in favor of Chairperson Dahal's aspiration to retain leadership. Party's young members not content. Well, the Foreign Minister of France promises continued backing for Ukraine and support for Defense Manufacturing Corporation in Kiev, says he will work on fixing the European Union and bilateral legal issues. And Manchester City secured a thrilling 3-2 win over Newcastle United in the English Premier League. Chelsea edged past Fulham by a solitary goal. That is all for the moment. Our next news bulletin is at 6 p.m. Thank you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead.